Nation. You know what time it is. It's your player pimp partner, Brian Renegade. And this is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. With me, I have my boy, LP in the building. LP, what's happening?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, nothing much, brother, nothing much. Hey, listen, it's been a lot going on. I'm glad to see you. Last week you were out, little under the weather, but LP is back. You know what I'm saying? Back in full effect. How you feeling, brother?
I'm better, man. You know, getting old, brother. Old man syndrome.
Man, you gotta take your vitamins, man. Your zinc. You know what I'm saying?
Eat my vegetables.
Yeah, gotta eat your vegetables. LP, since you've been out, man, it's been a lot of stuff going on. I want to talk real quick, a couple of things. First, today is Vince McMahon's birthday. Vince McMahon is 77 years young. Been doing this thing for a long time. Vince McMahon has played a part in my childhood, and I believe yours as well. Just certain parts, you know what I'm saying? We would call him a second daddy of sorts in the wrestling world. Yeah, man. But happy birthday to Vince McMahon. We wish him many more. I'm happy to see Vince. But right now I have to announce one of my other co-hosts, Chef. Showtime.
What's good?
What's happening, brother?
Just chilling.
Yeah, man. We were just talking about Vince McMahon, 77 years young, man. Today is his birthday. And I know we've been talking about Vince a lot lately because his name has been on the news in not such a favorable manner. But Vince is a legend, man. And from the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, the crew wants to say happy birthday. LP, what's one of your most fondest Vince moments that you remember throughout the years? You have anything that stands out from Vince other than?
I would say when he pissed me off the most out of all the years was when they had the higher power, and he was the person from the higher power. I think that moment I was cursing and so pissed off that all this hype and all this stuff like that. But you know, he made me super emotional about you know him being the higher power. Like, come on, y'all could have did better than that.
Way better.
Yeah.
Man, you know, when it comes to wrestling, Vince is the ultimate high power. You know what I'm saying? Other than the fans. Other than the fans, of course.
You know, a person went against God. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Vince has definitely pissed a couple of people off through the years, but he's also made them smile. Chef, Showtime, man, what's one of your most memorable Vince McMahon moments in wrestling, sir?
It's a lot of it's a lot of them, but the biggest one is the Stone Cold feud. When they used to be feuding all day, he'd come out when he came out the beer truck and hosed them down the ring. That was it.
I would definitely have to say that the Vince McMahon Steve Austin feud is definitely one for the memory books. I think that was my favorite storyline of all time going into it. Between it was the ultimate power struggle between the boss and a blue collar working employee, hard working employee, and Stone Cold represented all of the people who wanted to tell their boss. Steve Austin feud is definitely one for, you know, to go screw yourself, pretty much. All of the people who wanted to tell their boss, one for, you know, to go screw yourself, pretty much. People who wanted to tell their boss, one for, you know, a little feedback, but I'm not sure if that's coming from one of you guys, but I'm happy to see Vince is still around and kicking. His influence is still around. But with that being said, brings us into this new era, the Triple H era, the King of King eras, where we have been seeing the fruits of all of his labor for the last couple of years, especially with NXT and the invasion of NXT on the main roster now. There's been a lot of people that pop up. So, I have to go ahead and get into it, fellas. And you know what time it is. It's hot topics. Hot topics time. Listen, this past Monday, we have had the return of someone that we thought that we would never see on main roster. I know me personally. There's always been speculation that Vince never liked smaller guys, smaller wrestlers. But a lot of the smaller wrestlers that were on NXT were very skilled, very technical, and very dangerous in a lot of ways. We have our fan favorites. I have Tommaso Ciampa, who came up to main roster, and he's doing a bang-up job. I would love to see more out of Tommaso Ciampa. But Tommaso Ciampa once had a partner. DIY. And he's also the same person has played his nemesis on a number of accounts. He was the leader of The Way, which was a faction in NXT that included Austin Theory and his wife, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell. Also Dexter Lumis later on. I'm talking about the one and only Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Gargano is back in WWE. Seth, let me get your thoughts on the return of Johnny Gargano.
I was ecstatic, bro. That made my day. Then to see what happened during the ring, like give me that high five, give me that high sweet chin music kick. That topped the cake.
Yeah, man. That was a great moment. LP, can you talk about that moment a little bit when you saw Johnny Gargano and Theory link up again? What was your thoughts behind that whole moment?
It was good. I kind of felt like somebody was going to interrupt, but I didn't know who was going to be. And I think I think they chose the right person to. I guess I'm assuming that's going to be the first person he start feuding with. Because to be honest, they got to give Theory something to do. Because Theory, he kind of floating around, but he ain't really other than the money in the bank. He ain't really got nothing going on. So now this gives him, something to build off of.
You are right. If you had to build a feud with Austin Theory, you would have to do something that's a little bit familiar. Austin has, believe it or not, within the last couple of months, Austin has really stepped up to the high level of competition that's within the main roster, facing names such as Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar to a certain effect. He's been competing with Bobby Lashley, which is a powerhouse in a lot of ways, but he put on a great match with Bobby Lashley. This new Theory and Johnny Gargano, Johnny almost comes in as an underdog, kind of like the newbie on the main roster. And it's funny because he took Theory under his wing during his run in NXT. After Theory had a little run with Seth Rollins. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he had it was a brief little faction with Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and AOP of NXT. And then after he left the main roster, he went down to NXT, did his thing with Johnny Gargano in The Way, and then made his way to start really dominating TV. Not dominate, I'm sorry. Have more matches and TV taping. I'm excited about this. LP, are you excited to see a possible Johnny Gargano Austin Theory feud?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said before, I think it'll be a good something new that ain't nobody really expect to even be, happening on Raw. I mean, that's something you may expect at NXT or whatever, but I think it's good. I don't think it should go too long because, Austin Theory is still supposed to be cashing in his bank, so I don't think he can focus too much on it. So yeah. I don't know. It may be a distraction because maybe he'll fight him at Clash of the Castle, and people think he ain't gonna cash in. So this may be a little bit of a distraction that the WWE writers are trying to get people to look over there, and he gonna end up taking the belt away from not Roman, but Drew, because Drew gonna win that belt.
Nah.
We're gonna get into predictions in a little bit. We're gonna get into predictions in a little bit. I do want to talk about that. But I'm happy to see Johnny Gargano on this product. I'm interested to see what kind of feuds he gets into. I would love to see a brief connection with Tommaso Ciampa in some type of way, whether it be them teaming up or whether it be them in a feud together. I'm excited about the direction that the main show is going, because I think we can say that the show has been pretty good the last 2 weeks, at least 2 or 3 weeks, both SmackDown and Raw. It was a point where it started to feel a little stale, and we had talked about it, like, you know, the women's division was feeling stale, the main roster was feeling a little bit stale, but Triple H has injected some life into this new product. So, with that being said, I want to go over Clash of the Castle predictions. LP, you just alluded to one match, but let me give you a rundown of the matches so far on the card. And there are still matches being made and some speculated matches, but right now we have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. We have Liv versus Shayna Baszler. Sheamus versus Gunther, which I'm predicting is going to be my match of the night. We have the 6 women tag within Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. And then you just have the announced Riddle versus Seth Rollins match. And I believe they're trying to do the Judgment Day versus Edge, Beth Phoenix, and possibly Rey Mysterio. I'm not sure if that match has been made official, but I've seen something in the works on that. Let's get into it. Roman versus Drew. I got to go to the genie of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, LP. How do you see this playing out, sir? And I know you just mentioned something a few seconds ago about Drew possibly taking the belt off of Roman and then possibly Theory cashing in. But how do you see this match going? Are you excited to see the Drew versus Roman match?
I'm not going to necessarily say I'm excited just yet, but I think it's going to be a good match. The main reason that I think that Drew is going to win, because I don't think Triple H won a lot of part-timers. Like if Triple H is really running the show, like they say he's running the show, he's not gonna want part-timers to have the main belt. You know, and to be perfectly honest, I was thinking today, why is Roman part-time? Like Brock was part-time because he had UFC, other stuff. Rock was part-time, John Cena was part-time because they got Hollywood. But why is Roman part-time? Like, what else is Roman doing?
Right. So, making movies?
What movies is Roman doing?
Yeah, he's making movies. He got movies in particular. I forgot the name of it, but he got a movie coming. I mean, I get it for you.
I saw Roman Reigns in Hobbs versus Hobbs and Shaw, and he stinks. Roman stinks.
Hobbs and Shaw. You know what? And we spoke to this before. We did the best wrestlers turned actors in a previous podcast, and I mentioned something about Roman Reigns and his acting. I know I saw a movie, The Wrong Missy, where he played a character in that movie. It was really brief, but he did Hobbs and Shaw. I can see Roman Reigns doing Hobbs. He's really got to work on it. He got to work on his acting chops, but I can see a demand for the tribal chief. You don't see that, LP?
If they wanted Roman to be an actor, they should have gave him the Marine 28. You know they always call the rest of the Marine. Or one of them should have did the Condemned. He should have had a couple of small roles. Look at John Cena. John Cena started over like the Marines or the 16 rounds, all those horrible movies. And I'm not a John Cena fan when it comes to acting, but he has earned it throughout, you know. But y'all act like Roman about to leave now. John Cena and The Rock both stayed current as they were doing movie roles. Am I right? Well, Roman just
to a certain extent, it depends on the type of movies that they were doing.
Rock did Scorpion King, which is his first role. He still was wrestling. When The Rock did Walking Tall, he still was wrestling. The Rock was doing a whole lot of movies before he officially became part-time. So Roman is I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna star in Roman Reigns Acknowledge Me, rated R. It's not gonna happen. Roman is gonna try and he's gonna be back. But back on topic, that's why I think that he's gonna lose that belt, because if he doesn't lose his belt to Drew, who the hell is he gonna lose it to? Like, they're not setting nobody else up, like nowhere close to like who else could it be?
Well, I think under this new regime, we may see some stars in competition come up. And people forget that Cody is still around the corner somewhere. And I think that they're going to try to, I'm not sure under Triple H if Triple H is going to push a Cody Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes is an undeniable star. I can definitely see Cody Rhodes on the marquee.
You don't take a sledgehammer to the throne. You don't take a sledgehammer to the throne.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
You don't get a damn belt right now. No way.
What's that? Burning bridges?
Yeah.
Burning some bridges.
Yeah. Triple H is petty.
Oh man. I think he'll forgive that in sake of business. You know what I mean? He knew that a healthy competition is always a good thing. But going back to it, man, I think that Roman versus Drew it's going to be a good match. Will it be anything shocking in it? Possibly. We'll see. I think this Clash at the Castle will be the perfect time for Roman to drop the belt to Drew. I think that'll be a really big thing, seeing the belt change overseas, right? And that'll open up a lot of possibilities with the new NXT Europe that they're trying to launch. So I think that would be a great introduction to this new product, and giving people over in the UK and other countries opportunity to see a superstar who is of that same region. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's true. If I had to pick anybody to be a champion right now, it will be Drew. Drew got the chops. Drew still got the pull. Drew doesn't have a Roman Reigns pull because Roman is on a different playing field. You know what I mean? But I think that Drew, if I had to pick somebody to take the reins over of the company, I think Drew will be that guy. He carried us through the pandemic, and I think that he can do it again. But this Roman Reigns is red hot, man. The bloodline is red hot. And to be honest with you, they've been keeping both shows, SmackDown and Raw, alive for a while. Especially with the crossover, when they started doing the crossover to SmackDown and Raw. Just that brief interaction that's been really good. So I'm excited to see that match. Chef, are you excited to see the Roman versus Drew, and who you got?
Yep, I'm excited. And I got Roman keeping the belt.
You got Roman keeping the belt?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
My whole thing, he gonna lose the belt at WrestleMania.
To who? Don't say The Rock.
Yeah.
They will not lose the belt to The Rock. If anything, I see the belts being taken off of Roman before his Rock match. Because it wouldn't make sense for Roman to fight The Rock for the belt, knowing that The Rock does not intend on staying.
That what happened last time, though. The Rock won the belt, then he lost the belt fast.
Don't nobody want to see that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That is the head of the table. He brings in the money.
I don't think The Rock gonna do WrestleMania.
You don't think so?
Why?
You don't think?
He always do a guest appearance sometime.
Why would it?
Because it's Hollywood, and I
Yes.
think they're trying to push. They need a star to be able to push the marquee, right? I think that The Rock would be the perfect person to fit in there. We already had The Rock, John Cena versus Roman Reigns. I actually saw a piece of that live when they came to Phoenix and they wrestled the dark match. So we've already seen that. We've seen Rock versus, Roman versus Brock. Who else is there?
See, but
So
let me put a bug in y'all ear that I think people don't think about. I've been a Rock fan forever, from Rocky Maivia on, and I've seen The Rock size change from big, small, slim. Look how big The Rock is now. Do you really think as big as The Rock is now, he's gonna be wrestling the same as he's huge now? Like when he was at a Super Bowl, I was like, God dang, like he is huge. You like think about that. Think how big The Rock is. Do you really think he's gonna be able to wrestle? Like people, I mean, I get it, you want to dream matches and you want to see it, but let's look past the dreams. Let's look into the reality. That dude is huge.
Yeah,
The Rock,
he's still can wrestle.
He's not gonna lay on his back and do the jumping up on. I don't see him doing a lot of that stuff. And also, The Rock, I don't think he want to risk getting hurt.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Whenever a wrestler has a part-time schedule and they're doing other things like acting, people don't know that they have a dedication to those movies that they're producing to stay healthy. So when somebody signs up for like a Black Adam, if The Rock has another movie in the making, he doesn't have time. I don't see where he's going to have time to train and do all the other stuff with the XFL, all the product endorsements that he's doing, the shows that he's producing, and some of the movies that he has coming up. I'm having a hard time seeing where that fits, but I'm pretty sure if he's staying healthy and active and he just, gets around and bumps in the ring probably like for 2 months, he will be in fighting condition. And The Rock is how old is The Rock? Like 50, 54, I want to say. 50.
I don't know how old The Rock is.
He's in his 50s. I'm not sure it's early 50s, but I'm not sure how old The Rock is, man. But the dude is gigantic. He looked like he's bigger now than he ever was while he was wrestling.
He just turned 50.
He just turned 50?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would be excited to see Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. I think that there's not another person that you can put in that position to be able to fill that marquee. Yeah. I mean, you might as well bring that. I don't want to see Oldberg.
I don't want to see it, but think about it. If it's WrestleMania, it's going to be either Brock or Goldberg if it's not The Rock.
Nah.
Who else going to be?
I don't want to see Brock. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to see Brock and Roman again.
You got to look at, unless they build somebody up, like Kevin Owens, start building him up now to WrestleMania or somebody like that, which they ain't going to do. This is Hollywood. If The Rock don't do it, who else they got?
I have a feeling it's going to be another Drew. It'd probably be Drew. It might be Drew.
Drew isn't a big enough draw. You're talking about Hollywood. So think about WrestleMania last year. That they're saying this was the biggest WrestleMania of all time. They had Stone Cold have his last match. You know what I'm saying? They brought back they had Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, man. They had some bangers of a match. They have to bring a star in for Hollywood. I'm sorry, I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody on the main roster that has that star appeal where a Roman versus whoever makes sense.
Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Hell no.
Hell never happened.
Think about it though. Think about it. Would that not sell? Would that not sell?
No. That's a beat down.
Hey, does that dude bring in numbers?
I can see a Logan Paul versus.
I don't see him facing. I don't see him facing a Roman. Especially since you said that he's working on. He's training for boxing right now. I think he's going to just do like a couple of one-offs on main events. I don't see a Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns in the Rock. Huh?
We talking about drawing in numbers. I don't want to see it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see it. But I'm just saying. People like him can bring in numbers.
True.
If it's not The Rock, which that is everybody's number one hope, take The Rock out.
I wouldn't say see him against the Roman Reigns. I can see him going against like Gunther for Intercontinental or going for U.S. title. That would bring a lot of numbers. But for the main, no. Never.
Man, we're gonna see soon. We're gonna see soon.
I think the only person that you can really put in that role will be a Cody Rhodes. I think you bring Cody back, have Cody win the Royal Rumble, and then build up to the Rock versus Cody Rhodes. Roman versus Cody Rhodes. If the Rock doesn't do it, that's the only person I can really see.
It's not that big though. I'm a Cody fan, but Cody is not on that level.
He's not on the Roman Reigns. He's not on the Roman Reigns' level. But he is the next thing smoking.
But if this clash at the Castle goes well between Roman and Drew, and if they do keep Roman from winning, if do keep Roman to win, they're gonna have Drew win the Royal Rumble. That'd be Cody? They have a nice little build up.
Over Cody though?
Because if he lose now, they go to the Royal Rumble. Drew just win out of the blue. That'd be a nice little build up for another storyline to knock him off the head of the table.
I think the only person I really see taking it off that poses a real threat is the Drew to Roman Reigns, other than Seth freaking Rollins.
But they talk about trying to bring Braun Strowman back.
Well, if they do, hey, listen. If they do, we're gonna have to have Rose. We're gonna have to have go. And really, I'm not sure if they're gonna bring Braun Strowman back. And I was just looking at a match with Braun Strowman this morning, and I'm like, why did he get fired? And they said it was money and budget cuts, and he had a contract that was over $1 million. But I'm just he was a draw. He was competition. We're gonna have to ask Mr. Everything when he gets on the episode. We got to ask him the inside, like, hey man, next time you go into the locker room, just talk to Braun Strowman and see if he going to WWE. We need that insight. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and talk to him.
You can find out about the last dude that left the narrative and came over there.
Karrion Kross?
Yeah, so they
Karrion Kross left on his lunch break. He left. Karrion Kross said, hey, I'm gonna be right back. I'm about to go to McDonald's. And he
never came back.
He went to WWE, Jack. He ain't tell nobody nothing. They just all seeing him on TV. Hey man, we got a match next week. How you just gonna skip? But yeah, we'll see. That's an interesting question, and I think we can pose that to the best damn nation, man. Who do you really see taking the belt off of Roman? Let me go into the comments. Let's see. Got a comment. Roman is going to Hollywood, but not actually making it. I guess let's talk about his acting ability. Drew is next up for the championship, or is it Seth? Who would you rather see as champion? Let's keep it honest. Chef, would you rather see a Drew McIntyre beating Roman Reigns, or being champion, or would you rather see a Seth freaking Rollins?
I'd rather see a Drew. Drew's a fighting champ. He'll give you that bang for your buck. Seth's gonna be one of them champs like he was last time, running and hiding, making excuses why he can't fight you, and that's annoying.
But they also a loose storyline too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And which I think that Seth is great at. If I had to say on Monday Night Raw with superstar I look most forward to seeing is always Seth freaking Rollins, man. Seth has the style. Seth has the music. Seth has the wrestling ability. I love Seth freaking Rollins every time he comes out. I'm dancing with him all the time. You hear the crowd going off. Oh, I love Seth Rollins, man. I'm not sure, I'm not sure. I think if we talk about character-wise, Seth is a strong enough character to be able to compete with a Roman. Character-wise, I'm not talking about ring and belly. Of course, multiple-time champion, Grand Slam champion, all that Seth Rollins. I'm excited for Drew. I think might be Drew's time. Will he win? Probably not, but we'll see. I don't think he's winning. I would love for Drew to win, but honestly, man, this Roman Reigns character is very, very strong. Like I said, he's on a different level. LP, you said you got Drew to win. Chef, you said you got Roman to win. We shall see. Next match on the card, which I know that we've talked about on the last podcast, Liv versus Shayna Baszler. Are you guys excited about this match? LP, what do you think about Liv versus Shayna Baszler? And do you think that Liv will survive this match with Shayna Baszler and come out on top as the women's champion?
I think the only way that she come on top is if she gets some kind of help. Like if she miraculously, I have no idea. Maybe she turned heel or something, because the fans are really not liking her, to be perfectly honest. I don't see no way she wins this match. I mean, they definitely making her look weak. They made her look so weak. Was it Monday or Thursday? When she had her in the ring and she was just crying back, she was crying, and they made her look as weak as they could possibly make her look.
Listen, she barely survived Shotzi.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind. She barely survived that match with Shotzi. Shotzi whooped her ass the whole match. And then Liv pulled out the finish in the end. And then, to what you alluded to, she was crying in the ring. Go ahead, LP.
I think she's gonna lose it because they're gonna start boosting up Baszler versus Ronda. If you notice, she ain't start doing herself until Ronda was like, "You used to be a monster," then that's she's, you know what I'm saying? Like, now that would be a match that people would want to see. So I think she gonna win that belt, or Ronda gonna have something to do with it, because Ronda ain't got nothing to do right now but get arrested every damn week, which makes no sense. So Ronda's gonna be involved in that match some kind of way, and her and Shayna Baszler gonna start feuding.
Yeah,
and that's a fresh feud.
That's a fresh feud. I'm you know what? I'm so invested in seeing a Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler match. I would love to see that. I would love to see Shayna, and under Triple H, I can see Shayna being a dominant champion. I know we talked about this before, LP. You said you couldn't see Shayna as the face of the women's division. But let's be honest, I'm excited about the possibility of Ronda versus Shayna. I'm also interested in if they join forces. And that will be either one. I'm so invested into. Let's go into these comments real quick. Shayna, to break Liv's arm or to not break Liv's arm. I like that section. LP, did you check out that little speaking point from Shayna Baszler when she was talking to Liv about possibly breaking her arm or damaging her arm before Clash at the Castle? Did you see that little exchange?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, so you kind of cut out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's when they made her look as weak as they can make her look. Like she owned her. Like, nah, I ain't gonna do it now. I could, but I ain't. I'm just gonna let you think about it, and then walk off. And then she just sat there. You know, if they want her to look good next week, she got to beat her down with a chair. She got to do something to get her face back, or she done.
Yeah, she does. Charlene Guthrie says, Liv is not fighting to stay champ. She's fighting to survive. I 100% agree with that.
True story.
I think she is fighting to survive. I don't see it. We have another comment from Dodge Life 1993. It says, also, do you think that Ronda needs to get practice on using the mic and stop forgetting her lines? And also, how does the WWE get away from the fake police officers that they had on Friday and on Monday in Canada? Listen, that is a great question. I'm gonna break that down into two parts. Do you guys think? Let me go to Chef. Do you think that Ronda needs to get more practice on her microphone work? Do you think that? Or do you think? Because she come a long way to me, and me personally, before she came, I was a Ronda Rousey fan. And she came in, and then she became a babyface, and then her talking skills weren't as strong as they could have been. Chef, how do you feel about Ronda Rousey's mic skills? And do you think she's good on the microphone?
She's getting better. When she first came in, she sucked. I hate listening to her talk when she first came in. But now she's getting a little better, but there's times I think she's moving too fast sometimes because you can see the little blank look on her face, like, oh, what I'm supposed to say? Yeah. Then she finished her like moving too fast.
Yeah. I think that Ronda Rousey has the ability to speak, and she can be really good on the microphone. But sometimes it might not always translate so well when it comes to the TV, and her timing has to get better. I definitely agree that her timing needs to get better on the microphone. LP, how do you feel about the police officers and the security guards that they have on SmackDown and Raw, mainly SmackDown, who have been getting demolished? And I have to speak from the point of NXT security. I was an NXT security guard at one point. I don't know if I could have had Ronda Rousey just slam me around on live TV in front of my mama and my woman. I don't know how I would feel. What do you think about WWE's use of fake police officers, fake EMTs? That hold on, real quick. There was a scene with two EMTs. I can't remember what happened. I can't remember who it was, but they were checking on the wrestler. They looked so unconcerned and so unprofessional, like they did not know what to do. One of the dudes was just chewing gum and looked like he did not want to be there. The other girl looked like she had no experience at all in helping anybody. What are you feeling about them using wrestlers as EMTs and security?
I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, they've been doing that for years. I don't think they ever really use any real cops and stuff. Maybe once or twice. I mean, I think it's better for them to use fake people because if they use the real people and something happened, that liability. And that's what I think the main reason they're doing it. I just think that the people they have doing it need to do a much better job. I mean, I guess if you don't know no better, you really think they're cops, but we already know the moment that them cops or security guards show up, they about to get wrecked. So we yeah.
Oh man. Sometimes it feels like it's being overdone. Now, and in my opinion, if the security guards can't control the wrestlers or at least try to break them apart, then why even have them on there? You don't need 27 people out there trying to break up two women. Just being realistic. You don't need 87 people and wrestlers out there trying to control two skinny wrestlers, two skinny male wrestlers. It's just not making sense. I think it's being overdone. That's my point. The security thing and trying to break people up. On Monday Night Raw, it was a brawl that started the whole thing with Matt Riddle and Seth freaking Rollins, man. I didn't like, Matt Riddle is a real MMA guy. Matt Riddle got some hands, Jack. Him and Seth Rollins was pretty bad. They were hitting each other. Very soft and gentle, like very, very soft and gentle. But I think that the whole security and bringing the officials out from the back is being overdone. I would like to see a little bit more freshness, and I think that we'll get this under Triple H. But we definitely shall see. Dodge Life 1993 also said, in my opinion, Steve Austin had the greatest moment with the police. And we can go into that, who had the best moments with the police. I think Ronda has had multiple arrests with the police. Charlotte Flair, I remember her and Charlotte Flair when Charlotte kicked her head out the police car. That was a pretty good moment.
That one was good.
That was a pretty good one.
Except for that Ronda put her in the front.
Yeah, that was a really good one from recent memory. And every so often somebody gets arrested or have an issue with the police or gets put in the police car. But I think that one in particular, and I agree, Steve Austin's police interactions were really gold. But when it comes to the women, I think the Charlotte and the Ronda Rousey police involvement was a really good one. Because when she kicked her head out the thing, man, that looked real. You know what I mean? It looked like that hurt.
Right. It was all three of them. Becky was involved too, right?
I think Becky was involved with that, if I'm not mistaken. I think Becky was involved with that. Let's go into some of the other matches that we have on the Clash of the Castle card. Let me go ahead and get through these. We have Sheamus versus Gunther. Like I said, that's going to be my match of the night. I think that's going to be like Gunther versus, back in the day they had Walter versus Dragunov, which to this day was one of the hardest hitting matches that I've seen. That match had me all over the place. And I think that the Sheamus versus the Gunther has the possibility to be the same type of physical wrestling match. I think this match is going to take over the card. LP, what you think about Gunther versus Sheamus?
I think it's going to be a good one. I think it got to be a brawl no matter what. It definitely got to be a brawl. I don't think Sheamus is going to win, only for the fact that they trying to push the new guy, and Sheamus probably was like, all right, he probably let him push the new guy, and then they can continue to feud. I don't think there's going to be one and done. I think it's not going to be. I think Sheamus will lose, but then Sheamus will probably win another match, and they probably just do it again. But I think it's going to be a great. I think it's going to be a great
match. Shep, what do you think about this Gunther versus Sheamus match?
It's going to be a hard-hitting match. I got Sheamus to win.
Okay. You got Sheamus to win.
I got Sheamus to win. Like, if he don't, it's going to be interference by somebody.
Okay. From the Best Damn Nation, Dodge Life 1993 says Sheamus will win to make him a Grand Slam champion.
Man.
If it's any time to happen, I think that would be a great time for that to actually happen. I think Sheamus has been the most consistent figure on the show. He delivers every time. I love the Sheamus character. I haven't seen the Brawling Brutes lately, but Sheamus is definitely deserving of another title run. And if he is to be a Grand Slam champion, I think he should win it. I think Sheamus is probably one of the best assets. I won't say greatest, but one of the best assets from the European market that WWE has acquired, just because of his consistency and his match work in general. So I'm excited to see that match. I think that match is going to be a slobber knocker. We got a comment. Shirley says, whose chest would be most slapped? I can't wait to see the aftermath from Sheamus versus Gunther. That is a great question. Chef, who do you think chest will look like taco meat? Who's chest?
Gunther. Yes.
Oh man.
Because the beats of the Broderick, man, I think he's gonna hit him on he's gonna do like 3 or 4 times.
Gunther's chest is gonna be more jacked up, or you got Sheamus' chest?
It's gonna be like a racetrack on his chest.
Man. Like
skid marks all day.
LP, whose chest is gonna look like potted meat? Who you got?
Sheamus already ain't got no skin color, so it's gonna show up worse.
Sheamus.
that vampire texture skin.
Oh man, Sheamus. I'm excited. Sheamus is very handy-handed. Gunther is very heavy-handed. I'm pretty sure you're gonna hear those chop shops in the back all the way to the top of the arena. We're gonna hear that all the way here in America. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited to see whose chest will survive. That is gonna be that is crazy, man.
It's gonna be a beating.
That is crazy. I'm excited for that match. Like I said, I think that's gonna be the best match on the card, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and go to the 6-women tag with Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. LP, who you got, brother? In that trios match, you got the veterans versus. You can't really say the rookies because Bayley ain't really a rookie, but the mainstay vets versus Bayley's group.
I really want to say Bayley group because they really trying to push them, but isn't Trish like the referee? Did they say she was the referee?
She's not. Gonna be there. No, she's gonna be there.
She's gonna be there. Okay.
Trish is gonna interfere and make sure that Bianca didn't win.
And you think they might set up something between Bayley and Trish?
Yeah, because they already seem to be alluding to it. I don't know why. Trish still look good. Don't get me wrong, but Trish ain't never been on the level of the wrestlers that are now.
Trish never had this level of competition.
No, Trish is not even.
And that's not to take anything away from the women of the Attitude Era, like Lita and all those people. But Trish has never had this level of competition from these types of women. Trish has never had a Charlotte Flair. Trish has never had a Bianca Belair. Trish has never had to face anything like a Raquel Rodriguez. She's never had to face anything like a Becky Lynch. So it's going to be interesting to see how she fits into this whole dynamic if she is to come back for a certain amount of time, or if she's just doing little one-offs or whatever the case may be. But Trish Stratus and Lita has never had this level of competition because they never had the real time that they could to put into growing the women's division like it should have been grown back then.
They protected both of them. Like they didn't ever let them fight like Victoria. Now Victoria could go, or Molly Holly. Like they had some actual skills, but they didn't never really let Trish and Lita really go against the what was the woman that they used to always keep everybody afraid? Remember Jacqueline? Was it not Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, she was amazing.
Jazz. You remember Jazz?
Jazz was a monster.
And
Jazz was ahead of her time, man.
They didn't want no part of that.
Both Jazz and Jacqueline, but Jazz was like people feared Jazz.
Yeah,
they were scared. They were scared to face Jazz.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were really scared to face Jazz.
Yeah, they definitely was protected.
So you said you got Team Bailey to take that home.
No, I would have Team Bailey, but if Trish don't interfere, then I got Bailey. But if Trish interferes, the baby face is gonna win it.
Okay. I like that. Chef, what you think about this trios match between Team Belair versus Team Bailey?
I got Team EST all day.
Yeah.
Because Asuka is a beast. I want them to like. I want Alexa, like, I don't know. I don't like how they got Alexa playing her little role right now. I like the little old Alexa.
Yeah. She don't have no character now.
Yeah, I know. Like, they got her just floating. I'm just going to help the fight.
Yeah. She really doesn't. I think that they're trying to push her to be a main event.
That really doll. That's why they're keeping her with that damn dumbass doll. Because I bet you that's the #1 seller on the shop.
It is. I think they're trying to push Alexa into the main event picture now. But that's going to be. I don't know where this Alexa fits. Maybe if she was the dark Alexa Bliss, because to be honest with you, she was very strong when she was the dark Alexa Bliss. Even though I didn't like all the witchcraft stuff that she was doing, she was very strong in that aspect of character work. And then the doll was selling, but the doll was selling at the height when she was doing the darker character. Now with this happy-go-lucky, I'm a grown woman with a doll. She's not going to let that doll go because she's knowing that doll is selling. That doll, that is the new Chucky doll. That doll is selling, and she's not going to let that go. And I think that they are going to try to push an Alexa Bliss, but I'm not sure how. I don't know if I see her being champion again, unless they come up with unless they do the tag belts, or if they come up with a junior belt for the women's division. I don't see her taking that off of. I don't see her taking that off of Belair. I'll be honest with you. Right?
Because they waiting for Charlotte to come back. Let's be honest.
Well,
ain't nobody.
They're waiting for the Queen to come back. They're waiting for greatness to come back. We all are waiting for the Queen's arrival, sir. Man, I think for me, I got Team Belair. It's hard to go against Bianca Belair and Asuka on the same team. I don't, no, not to take anything from Alexa Bliss, but if you got Asuka and Bianca on the same team, it's kind of hard for me to see anybody really taking them out together if they work together. The last match, we have Judgment Day versus Edge, Beth, and possibly Rey Mysterio. I'm not sure if this has been made official yet, but if it does happen, do you think this should be the last battle between Edge and the Judgment Day, or do you think something should come out of this whole debacle? LP.
First of all, let's go back to what happened the other night. Was I the only person that thought Beth Phoenix was about to hit Edge with that chair? Was I the only person that thought that?
Yeah.
Nobody thought that.
You're a natural heel, LP. Of course you thought that, sir.
The positioning, it was the way they was doing it. There's no way all three of them runs out of ring because Beth Phoenix got a chair. Like, I really thought she was about to wail on Edge. So I think that they're going to do something else. I don't know what it is. I don't trust Beth Phoenix, and because I just see them doing something else. Like, there has been nothing exciting that was going on. That whole match, you knew that Edge knew better than show there without no help. Like, Dolph should have came out and helped or something, especially he just got knocked out not too long ago. So I mean, they should have had some help or something. But he gonna come out there and then I don't know if you guys saw that after it went off the air. It's footage of that when Edge was talking about possibly retiring by next year. He kind of alluded to that. He was saying that he want to retire, I guess, there, and they won't be back in probably till like August of next year. He was like, maybe he said in the great world, it would end here. So I think Edge is actually about to retire. So I mean, not now. I mean, but like next year. So it's I don't know where this is going. Like I don't know.
I think if Edge was to retire, that would probably be a good place for him to retire. And I would still love to see Edge at a backstage capacity. Either producing matches or doing something in a backstage capacity if he decided to leave and retire. I don't know how many years he has left. I'm still a little cringy when Edge gets in the ring, man, and I'm just thinking like anything can happen at any time, and Pop goes the weasel, his neck go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always on edge about that. He put on a great match with Damian Priest this past Monday. So I love seeing Edge. I think Edge still should have stayed in Judgment Day. And ran Judgment Day. I love the direction it was going. I'm still unsure about the direction of the Judgment Day, what they're doing. I really don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of the fans feel the same way. Let me go back to some of these comments. Shalene says, I'm Team Bailey for sure, even though I know she will betray Dakota Kai and Io Sky sooner than later. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that'll be a little bit of betrayal with Bailey and the NXT Hall of Famers and Io Sky and Dakota Kai? LP, let me go to you.
I think eventually, but it's too soon right now. I mean, of course, eventually she's gonna do it. But I think when she does that, that's when they'll start pushing the other ones as baby faces or whatever. And I don't think nobody's in that situation right now where they can do it. But yeah, eventually. Oh yeah, she definitely.
Eventually, I definitely see that. Let's see. Dodge Life 1993 says Bray is joining Edge for the Brood Part 2. Man, that's interesting. That's an interesting comment. Chef, you say you can see that?
Remember, I've been talking about this. I can really see that. Yeah, I can see Bray Wyatt come back, and that's be the new Brood. And they come out vicious.
Oh man. Would Gangrel be involved in any way? I can see no Gangrel. He looks weird now. No. I can see Bray Wyatt, Edge, and Luke. And who?
Luke Harper.
You said Luke Harper?
No, wrong one. The other one. What was the other one name? Not the one that's dead.
Eric.
Eric Redbeard. Eric Redbeard is in AEW right now.
People get up and leave. You see what Karrion Kross did? I'm out. Let's do it.
Oh man. That would be interesting to see a Edge and a Bray Wyatt together. They would terrorize everybody. And that's something that I never thought I wanted to see or needed to see, but now I think I need to see it in some type of capacity. I love Bray Wyatt. I hope Bray Wyatt does come back. I hope he does come back as the Fiend character, the Firefly Funhouse character. I love every segment that he put out. I don't care what it was. I think that was brilliant to do the children's the children's TV show theme and to have the good and evil character. I think that was some of the best character work that we've seen on WWE in years still. And so I can't wait to see Bray Wyatt if he does come back. I know he would really do good in AEW with their darker themes and darker characters like the House of Black and all that stuff. But I would love to see him in WWE terrorizing people. Let's just keep it 100% honest. So yeah, fellas. One more question. Are you guys excited to possibly see a Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley match in WWE? That's titillating, as my boy Max Dupree would say. Titillating. I would love to see it. Beth in her prime, most definitely. LP, do you think? How do you feel about Beth Phoenix versus Rhea Ripley if they do something like this on the card?
I ain't gonna say I'll be excited. I mean, I think the best way for them to do that is to do the 3-on-3, because like I don't know, Rhea is really pushing everybody to hit her. It's like she daring all these men to hit her. Like, so I think somebody about to really smash her in her face just because it's the way they doing it. Like the whole stuff with Rey Mysterio, how he wouldn't hit her. That made like zero sense whatsoever. Like, I know Rey, you just supposed to be this chivalrous guy or whatever, but come on, dude.
Ray better do something because his son and his ass whooped by a woman every week. So I know he's tired of it. I know he's tired of it, boy. He gotta be like, come on, son. Damn, you gotta file a restraining order or something.
Duh.
You gotta be like Day Day. Day Day, that crazy chick outside. You know what I'm saying?
I don't necessarily think she cleared to wrestle. Has she wrestled since she been back?
Who, Beth Phoenix?
No, Rhea.
Rhea Ripley.
No.
I don't think that she's been doing a lot of backstage vignette work. But in the group and the spaces that she's filling, she doesn't need to wrestle. To be honest with you, she needs to wrestle. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she doesn't need to wrestle. But what I'm saying is the role that she's playing in Judgment Day, the character work that she's putting in on Judgment Day, she doesn't need to wrestle to become a threat. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
I don't know, man, because she's doing some really good work.
That's like saying when China. That's like saying when the way China was with DX. But eventually, she got to do something. Like you can't keep on. Even with China, China really wasn't wrestling a lot of women, but she started wrestling men. So if they pushing Rhea that way, she gonna have to start booting up and going against some. Her first match probably gonna be against Ray Sun. I can see maybe they making that a match, if anything.
That's an easy match for her to win.
I don't want to see that, man. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like
what else they want to do? She can't keep on just doing what she's doing and getting away with it. Like she smashed.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like seeing male female matches.
No.
I don't, I'll do an intergender match if it makes sense, but I'm not big on male female matches, and even I know this is going to be a little controversial, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't like seeing transitioning men or transitioning women fight the opposite sex, if that makes any sense. It's hard for me to watch. For instance, like a Nyla Rose on AEW. It's hard for me to watch Nyla Rose fight women on the show, even though that's her style. She wrestles. She identifies as a woman. It's really hard for me to see her smashing and dominating women. I got to be honest. I'm not a fan of that. So I don't want to see. I don't want to see intergender matches. I'm not big on men beating up women or or seeing transitional people beat on women. I'm not a fan of that. Like I said, I know they might be a little controversial, but that's just my preference in general. Do you guys? Let me ask you a question. Do you guys like intergender matches at all?
I can't even really think of how many I've actually seen now that I sit here and think about it.
The only one I seen was China versus people, and China's a man.
Yeah, China used to wrestle Jeff Jarrett, Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, but China wasn't the best in the ring. But like I've never seen I don't know if I've ever seen a real good match like that. Come to think about it, I've seen females get hit with finishing moves, but
yeah, like I've seen some missed calls where a male wrestler hits a female wrestler by mistake, and it's part of the storyline. That's fine. They're wrestlers; they can take it. I don't want to see, I don't want to see a Roman Reigns versus Alexa Bliss match. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that style of a match, and maybe that's just me being partial, but I'm really interested to see how the Beth storyline will go with Rhea Ripley. I'm trying to see if they're going to build something out of that. If they do not, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Do you remember when Nia Jax was in the Royal Rumble?
I do remember Nia Jax was in the Royal Rumble, and Rey Mysterio ain't had no problem kicking her in the butt. Listen, let's talk about that. Rey ain't had no problems kicking Nia Jax, but he got a problem. He got a problem hitting Rhea Ripley. You ain't got no problems kicking a sister in the face, but you got problems with Rhea Ripley. We ain't gonna talk about Bruno. We ain't gonna talk about Bruno. We're gonna talk about how Randy Orton just RKO'd Nia Jax and then did the shoulder shrug. We ain't gonna talk about Bruno.
Hey, but see, that's one thing Randy Orton. He RKO'd everybody. Stephanie McMahon, RKO. He's equal opportunist. Anybody can get it.
Oh man. Randy has RKO'd a lot of people. A lot of women too. He's RKO'd
all women.
All the women.
Stone Cold too.
Stone Cold has to. Yeah. I don't condone that at all. I just said I'm not a fan of it, but it does happen in wrestling. From time to time, we definitely see that. One more thing on the hot topics list, fellas. Did you guys see the amazing ovation that Sami Zayn got on SmackDown?
Yes.
Man.
Him and Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Kevin Owens introduction, but when Sami Zayn came out, you would have thought Sami Zayn was Hulk Hogan. The pop that he got from the fans, man, it gave me goosebumps because it almost reminded me of when Edge came back, right? And Edge had, all the people they stood up. They was like, yes, people were losing their minds over Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. I've always sung the praises of Sami Zayn since we first started this podcast. I've always said that Sami Zayn is one of my favorite characters on SmackDown. The way he's able to carry storylines, keep people interested. What do you think? What do you think about the reception Sami Zayn got during I think it was a 6-man match, qualifying match to face Gunther? Obviously, Sheamus won that match. But what do you guys think about the reception that Sami Zayn got? And in recent memory, what was the biggest pop from the crowd that you can remember?
I thought it was good for Sami because he's a popular wrestler, but where they was at, they love him to death. Like you said, my boy KO got just as big as a pop now, because that's my boy. But yeah, I think it was great. I think the biggest pop of all, and I say all time, was when CM Punk came back, because there was grown men crying out there in the stands. I mean, grown men had tears coming from their freaking eyes.
Oh, when he came back in Chicago?
I don't know what city they were when they came back, but when he came,
his hometown, Chicago.
I think it was Chicago. Yeah.
I've never seen that mess in my life, and not in wrestling. I've seen little kids cry, and I've seen women cry, but to see grown ass men bawling out crying, CM Punk's pop has to be, if not the best, it has to be in that conversation of the biggest pop ever. To me,
I can agree with that. I mean, even if you go back and watch it now, you get a little bit of a chill watching that. I wasn't the biggest CM Punk fan. I don't think I was ever a CM Punk fan, but I remember seeing his matches, and I really wasn't impressed at the time from his wrestling. When I was watching the CM Punk era, I kind of tuned out during the CM Punk era. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tuned out of wrestling for a little bit on the WWE, but his new run on AEW is really great. And you're right, LP. That pop that he got from that crowd was probably one of the biggest that I can remember. Chef, what about you, sir? How do you feel about Sami Zayn's reception that he got? And what was the biggest crowd pop that you've heard that you can remember?
It was the step. I love this Sami Zayn ovation. He was home. They made him feel like he was going to win the match, because it was pumping him up during the whole match. Like and he got his ass whooped the whole match. It was pumping him up, giving him that juice to win. But that bro kick will kick the hell out of you and take your soul from your body. That's what happened. But I think the biggest standing ovation of that was when The Rock came back at WrestleMania out of the blue after them long term. They couldn't stop. The match was going. They were still chanting The Rock. I'm like, man.
That was a pretty big pop. I think one of mine, which gives me a little bit of chills, is Edge's return. Edge's return was so memorable. It make you feel some type of way. I mean, if you're talking about facing adversity and something that you love so dearly being stripped away from you, and you're coming back and have the ability to do it 9 years later, his return was probably one of my favorite returns of all time, just because of the meaning that it had behind it, and just the fanfare behind Edge coming back to wrestle. I think that was one of my most favorite pops of all time. So I appreciate each one of you guys. I think the CM Punk pop was great. Chef, you said the Rock's pop that he got at WrestleMania was really good. And like I said, Edge, I got to put Edge at Edge, probably most emotional for me.
What about Daniel Bryan when he came back from that neck injury?
Daniel Bryan's was big too. Daniel Bryan. I think Edge meant a little bit more to me, because I for sure thought he won't coming back. Daniel Bryan, he will always talk about possibly coming back. He felt good and all that stuff. But Edge, you thought it was over for him.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask y'all something real quick before we go on. You talking about people coming back. So I was talking to my friend the other day, and we were talking about Vince, right? So Vince supposedly never coming back. So the last memory we have of Vince McMahon in the ring is that horrible WrestleMania stunner. Like Vince should have came back and said goodbye and let you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to feel that way. Like that should have been his last. Now that would have been a pop. Like for him, I know he had a lot of mess going on, but Vince was showing up before. You know what I'm saying? Popping this like he won't leave him. But like even when Stephanie came out and said her stuff, blah blah blah. But like I really think Vince deserves like one more time. I don't want my last vision of him in that ring being that horrific Stone Cold Stunner.
That stunner had to be the ugliest.
That is the worst. But
that had to be one of the worst bumps of all time. We can go into that. I think we'll do a show topic on that. The worst bumps of all time. But that's definitely up there. I'm not mad that he got into the ring, even though it's cringeworthy. I'm not mad that he had the opportunity to do that in front of a WrestleMania event that he created. If you had to have a sign off, I would do it with the person who you had the feud with. I think Stone Cold. I mean, I think this past WrestleMania was so big in a lot of ways because it was a send off to some of our legends. You know what I mean? It really honored a lot of people's legacies, including Vince McMahon. And I thought it was very fun. The whole segment, even though, like I said, that bump that Vince took, the stunner that he took from Stone Cold was the ugliest. And I thought he was dead for a second, for real. When he laid in the ring, I thought he was really dead. I was like, man, he broke Vince's neck. But
would you want him to come back one more time and make it official versus that being his last time?
No, I don't want to see Vince in the ring again. I'm okay with that memory. You know,
I'm not talking about coming in to wrestle. I mean, talking about like a true send off. I mean, I'm not talking about in the ring. Hell no. I'm talking about him coming out saying goodbye, like the right way.
Okay, yeah. I think he should have done it. To be honest with you, the 2 times that he came out on Raw and SmackDown, his last 2 appearances when he was welcoming everybody to the WWE, I think that was prime time for him to be able to gracefully bow out and allow the fans to really shower him with praise. I didn't like that Stephanie had to come out that next week and say, "Hey, Dad, we love you or we support you," or whatever the case may be. You could tell she was heartbroken for that whole thing going on.
Yeah, so, I just think for Vince, who is probably the number 1 person in wrestling history, like let's be honest, like if you talking about number 1 between him and Flair, we discussed this one time before. Vince deserved a montage. He deserved more than just what he got. And I know at this point in time, it's probably too late. They probably never will. But I think that's a big mistake and an oversight that they didn't do that for him, regardless of what's going on. We know what's going on, but as fans, look at the plane ride from hell and all that stuff that came out from the dark side of the ring with Flair and all that. But do that mean we don't love Flair or whatever? So it's like, most fans, like I said, we know Vince. Vince is pretty much part of our childhood. I'm 44. I was watching wrestling way back when I was a kid, and I still watch it now, even watching old stuff. So I just think he deserved a better send-off. And maybe it's just me, but I just think he deserved a true send-off.
I agree with you. I would love to see a better send-off for Vince. I mean, if anything, if they do a big send-off for Vince, I would love for them to do it at next year's WrestleMania.
Or maybe the Hall of Fame. Maybe put him in the Hall of Fame.
Put him in the Hall of Fame, and put him in the Hall of Fame, and just let the man bow out peacefully. I don't want to see Vince die, and then they try to give him all these accolades and all this stuff, and then I don't want to see that. Appreciate the man while he was living. He made some mistakes. I'm not saying that whether they're good or bad, but what I am saying is for the company that he helped create and the millions of people whose lives he's changed and affected, whether it be good or bad, I think that the man deserves his send-off the right way. So I agree with you on that, LP. It just got to be the right time. You know what I'm saying? Just got to be the right time. All right. So we're nearing the end of our show. And I know we had a lot of things that we spoke about, but we have to go through the most entertaining moments, the most shocking moments, the most memorable moments, and it wouldn't be right if we didn't do LP's best damn wrestling moment.
All right, now y'all already know my boy KO is this. That's just my guy. But let's just talk about what KO did the last time he was in the ring. How he dominated the whole entire match. How he smashed like everybody. Like that is the Kevin Owens that if they stop bull crapping and push, can't nobody stop that dude. Like the dude, Kevin Owens mic skills and Kevin Owens wrestling skills are like here. Like there is no reason. I don't know. I think he must have pissed somebody out backstage or something. There is no reason why he should not be. You know, he talked a lot of trash to Drew. I don't know if y'all was catching some of that stuff they were saying. He was giving Drew the business. So like I personally think that was a great moment because I think I finally saw that twinkle that I've been waiting to spark back. That my boy KO, he done with that Elias and all that stupid mess. It was entertaining, but that mess was stupid. Like he's done. I mean, he almost beat Roman when they wrestled. They had to handcuff and do all the other stupid mess. My boy KO, mark your calendar. I said it now. That was the spark and a twinkle last week that started Kevin Owens returns. So get ready for Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Wow, you really reaching for that, boy.
I'm going there.
You talk about me and Charlotte Flair? Oh man. Boy. But you know what, LP? If we're being honest, and we see this new regime change and Hunter really pushing his NXT main stage, KO is an NXT original. So I can see him pushing Kevin Owens. If not, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm happy where the championships are right now. I'm happy where the championships are in the men's division. You have, and we talked about this on the last podcast. Should the champions be feared? Should the champions be dominant? I think having a Bobby Lashley as United States champion, a Gunther as Intercontinental champion, the Usos as tag team champions, and Roman Reigns as the champion of champions. I'm happy with the way the championships are. It'll be good to see them change hands. I'm excited to see them change hands. But
wait, we fear Liv?
She's not a champion. That's why you didn't name her.
I didn't mention. Okay,
she's not a champion.
You fear Liv?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna add Liv and Bianca into that mix, and Mandy Rose. I'm gonna add a Mandy Rose into that because you got to put some respect on Mandy Rose's name.
I like Mandy.
You know. So if we're talking about champions, other than I want to like Liv as a champion. I just don't think that Liv is. If you're gonna have it any time, this is the best time to do it. I Liv as a champion. I
mean, so she got on her stat sheet.
She got on her stat sheet. She's been, women's champion. She can hang that up, hang her hat on that.
Just get it over with.
Just get it over with.
They're making everybody else play down to her level. Like Ronda Rousey above her. Everybody she's fighting is way above her.
You don't think that Liv can elevate talent? Like, for instance, if more people from NXT get called up to SmackDown, say Zoe Starks, Zoe is hurt, but like Nikita Lime, didn't she hurt? I think Nikita Lime, she gets brought up. You don't think that Liv can be good enough in the ring to bring up other talent? No.
She had a better chance fighting Hornswoggle and winning. She might beat Hornswoggle. That's it.
Hornswoggle.
Liv will have a good match with Stephanie McMahon because they battle on the same level.
Nah, Stephanie beat her.
Man.
Stephanie probably will beat her.
Fast.
Man, y'all hating on Liv so bad, man. Listen, I'm gonna put a disclaimer. The Best Damn Wrestling Podcast does not hate Liv Morgan. Okay, we support Liv in winning. We support Liv in pushing her message. I like Liv as a babyface champion. I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. The fellas, the best damn crew, they feel impartial to Liv as the champion. But me, I support you, Liv. Not everybody on the best damn crew hates you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, don't mind these heel characters, LP and Chef. Don't mind the heels. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you, Liv. Man. So we gotta go into it, man. I'm sitting here talking to you guys. My mouth is parched. It's almost time for dinner. I'm a little bit hungry. Chef, man, we got to ask you every single week, what is Chef cooking? Chef, what did you make this week for the people? This is Chef Showtime's best damn recipes.
Oh man, today, like this week, I made for the boys the best damn meatballs. The best damn meatballs. I sent the recipe to Brian with the picture of it. You know what I mean? He can post it up, make it look, scrumptious.
So you have the meatballs in a sub, or you have it like a pasta, or is it just the meatballs by themselves?
You can eat it by itself or throw it up in the air and catch it. You know, however you want to eat it. It's delicious.
Now, what kind of meat is in these meatballs? I'm from the South. You know, people put all kind of possum meat and alligator in the meatballs. What you got in your meatballs, Chef?
It depends. It depends what mood I'm in, you know. But the best damn meatballs have that good meat. So I put a little veal, some ground beef, some turkey ground beef. You know, turkey beef. That's nasty, but yeah.
Okay, you said veal. These are some expensive meatballs here.
That's why they're the best damn meatballs.
Veal and some foie gras. Man, all right. So you guys can head over to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast page, or you can join the group and see more of Chef's recipes on this show. And if anybody wants to go and talk to Chef directly, where can they find you at, Chef?
You can find me on Facebook as Dante Carter. You can find me on Twitch at Showtime 83.
All right. So go follow Chef whenever you get a chance. Fellas, it has been a banger of a show, sirs. I appreciate each and every one of you every week. LP, what you got going on for the folk, man?
I'm back on the clock, man. Come book these photo shoots. We always up in here ready to work.
All right. And what can people find you at, brother?
On Instagram, One Click Photography Shoots. Book in and contact me, see my work, all up in there.
All right. Awesome. You guys, whenever you get a chance to go check out Chef Showtime and go check out LP's personal pages. If you need something from them, if you need a recipe, or if you need a chef, contact Chef. If you want some banging ass pictures for your bar mitzvah, birthday, wedding, anything under the sun, go holler at my boy LP on One Click Photography Shoots on Instagram. I said it right? Huh? Yeah. All right. I'm your boy, Brian Renegade. You can follow me on all platforms at Brian Renegade. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that jazz. If you want to check out more of what me and my old lady are doing, you can go to Renegade and Rio show on Facebook, or you can go to Renegade and Rio on Instagram and check out some of the things that we have going on. Fellas, it's always been a pleasure. We will see you, beautiful people, Best Damn Nation, friends and family. We'll check y'all out next Wednesday on the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast.